your voice, perhaps. So familiar. It's like a voice in a dream I cannot place.
G'day guys, before we get into this episode, I'm just going to have a bit of a yarn about the future of aquatic rehab and what we're getting up to. Now, as most of you already know, we're moving away from Patreon. It's quite a strange setup and it just wasn't working. So we're making free episodes again on YouTube and Facebook. So Patreon, it's still really unfamiliar to heaps of people and it just didn't catch on. And the way that they've set it up is quite strange. So yeah, moving away from Patreon, and what we've done on the side over the last sort of half year, been working really hard on creating a Vimeo on demand series called How to Spearfish. How to Spearfish has 5 core episodes with other episodes coming later on. And the 5 core episodes are: number 1, a beginner's guide to spearfishing gear; number 2, how to increase your breath hold for spearfishing; number 3, techniques for spearfishing yellowtail kingfish; number 4, techniques for spearfishing snapper; and number 5 is a guide to spearfishing around sharks. So if that's something you think that you'd be interested in, feel free to head over and check that out on Vimeo on demand. I'll put the link in the description to this video, and let's get into it. Great Barriers, it's always been a really good dive. I don't know too many spots out there. I have the basic gist of sort of what's going on, but I'd like to do a bit more work out there. Firstly, we went out in the morning, stopped off at Horn Rock, which is pretty good. Heaps of fish in there, but tons and tons of current. Really hard work, and quite a few baby bronzies cruising around. I think there was about 6 of them hanging around I saw all morning. So we shot a kahawai and we cut it up for them, see if they'd come in and have a feed on it. Only one of them came in, but in the open water we did have a few snapper move in as well. It's bloody hard orientating onto them. It's sort of the common situation is when the current's really hard, the fish are all in there, but you're battling the current, and then to get a proper breathe up is really hard yards. I seen a couple of good eating snapper cruise in, probably around the 10 pound or so, and yeah, I thought, all right, we'll give this a go, and yeah, straight top down current, and fish were a wee bit silly, feeding, looking at all the action going on and not looking up, noticing me. They're normally pretty good at noticing me, but this one failed to, and smacked them. You know, that's real ideal eating size fish for me on that mark, so that's pretty good. Yeah, acres and acres of trevally workups out there. The skipper Devon, he got in and he was working the schools, and he shot a good kingy out of one of the schools too. I think it's about 22-23 kilo. The heart was still beating on the chili bin. I hear everyone rambling on about eating fish heart, and I've never tried it, so I had a munch out of it, and it just tastes like fish blood really. But yeah, I guess it's a good iron rush. After that we headed out to a bit of reef, super clean water, really nice. Heaps of snapper just sitting out in the current and just on all the drops, you know, just sort of hanging out there. You know, we've seen a couple of good ones, but they're quite onto it with the good viz. Same old, biffed a few kinner to try to centralise them in, and then sneak down through the weed and trying to get a bit of footage of them. Filmed these 3 guys here chasing a couple of broken kinner around in the weed, and that was really cool. I try to hide inside the cow, and then sort of keep my body and most of my mass hidden by the kelp. Then I had one snapper that must have caught a glimpse of me. It didn't really like what it saw, and then he sort of turned around and come back up, and I managed to push out and put a shaft into him. That was good. A couple of eaters there, and the fridge stocked up. A bit over a week later, running low on the fish front, we got out to Takatu Point. Real good bit of terrain out there on the top of the Tawhanui Peninsula. I went back to a spot that has produced a couple of good fish last season, so I went back up there and put an urchin kinderburley down and left. I did a bit of pole spearing with the prong, just to get a bit of practice in with the pole spear, and having heaps of fun with that. Had some kingies roll through, managed to shoot one of those. And then finished it off with the prong. Went back, checked the kinner a few times, nothing there. Yeah, pretty slow on it, almost gave up, and then Jay comes back to the boat with a nice 22 pound fish. Gave me a wee bit of motivation, so I swam back out to my one and had a look. Nothing there again, so straight back up to the surface, and then breathed up, and I thought I'll just have one more dive because I don't know if I'm looking around properly or not. And I dived down and got into some weed, and as I was sinking I seen two really nice fish coming together, charging together, so they weren't sort of sitting there, they were moving, and yep, they came right in under me. I'm bloody surprised they didn't see me. I must have just been low enough in that kelp there, and managed to get a nice shot on this fish here. So yep, landed that one, and it was pretty good, pretty stoked with that, so stocked up again. After that, got a couple of places that we like to work out at Lee there. The swell had sort of buggered up the viz quite a bit, which was no good, but we thought it'd be worth having a wee look around anyway. Wee bit quiet on it. Did a bit of snooping up down the coast and hadn't really seen a lot. I went to an old ledge that one of my friends told me to check back in the day, probably 5 years ago, and I've never ever seen anything on it. And I had a look over, and I couldn't believe it. There's a nice big fish sitting right out there over the kelp, just dead still, and wasn't really expecting that at all. Went down and smashed him. And then we had a bronzy come through, and he went up and wanted to get a look, so I thought, shit, I might even lose this fish here, but wrangled him up. There's a beauty. Lovely fish, nice big head. Yeah, it's always good when you can get a fish with nice character like that. It's a bit like, I guess it's a bit like shooting a stag with your nice, like a trophy head. That was pretty cool. Got that one, and yeah, just a fluke really, but still, good day. Good to get out, and paid off. I've had a few people at work covering my shifts, so I wanted to get some kingy meat so I could divvy it up and bring it in there and try to be a good bastard like that, and then hopefully they'll be keen to keep covering me on my dive days, which is good. So I got out and looked around for some kingies. We checked out another bit of reef there, and managed to plug a good eating kingy, which was alright. After that, straight into the workups. Had a nice, quite a chunky Mako Shark cruise in. Got some pretty good footage of him, and he was pretty tame. When it comes to Makos, I'd just like to say, I like to gauge every animal individually rather than putting a full bracket on all of them. Quite boisterous, quite confident animal, very easy to swim with. Not like the whalers, they sort of tend to interact a bit more than the whalers, so that's really cool. So, and then towards the end of the day, nice school of Kawa and Treves came through, and I knocked over another kingy. The old technique while the heart's still pumping, cut the neck through there, and you can see the vein here pumping blood out. It's a good way to get nice white fillets, so if you can do that when the heart's still pumping. Just bear in mind the sharks are going to think that that's like a chocolate factory, and they're going to come in for miles, as they did. And this second Mako come in for a bit of a look, but they're generally alright, so that's all good.
Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. I've got a few more on the pipeline. We're working on tons of footage at the moment. We've got Matauri, 3 Kings, pole spearing off Cape Brett, and all sorts of other stuff, heaps of local dives and things like that as well. So getting stuck into that. And remember, if you want to check out the How to Spearfish video series, head over to Vimeo on demand and take a look at that. And stay tuned for more free spearfishing content on our YouTube channel and on Facebook. Cheers.